When Bryan was 2 years old, his mother decided she wanted to move back to Pittsburgh, which was her home. She felt she had few friends here in Houston, so she packed up their belongings and the dog, Chauncey, and went back to Pittsburgh to be with her parents, brothers, sisters, and her grandmother. He hadn't been gone more than a couple of weeks when I realized I just had to go visit him. So I called and told them I was coming, and they were happy. They would be happy to see me. When I got to his house, his mother came up to me and said, "I'm sorry, he's not in a good mood." I said, "What's the reason?" She said, "I don't know. He gets that way every once in a while." So I went over to him and picked him up and hugged him, but he was not in the mood to be hugged. He sort of stiffened and pushed away and sat down. I gave him some gifts that I had brought. He didn't pay too much attention to them, which is unusual. So I said to him, "Bry, what are we going to do?" He said, "I don't know." I said, "I hear there's a submarine tethered in the Ohio River." He said, "Oh, I've been there." I wondered whether he was telling me the truth or it was his mood that was speaking. I said, "I also hear there's a museum there." He said, "Oh, I wonder if they have a chemistry set." I said, "Well, let's go find out." So we took the bus. It let us off at the museum. And we walked through, and he said, "There, look, they have Gilbert chemistry sets." I said, "I'll get you one, but first we're going to look at the submarine." He said, "Okay." So we bought tickets. We went down to the submarine. And as soon as he got on board, he began racing around, checking valves and pushing instruments one way and another. He couldn't stop running back and forth, even though it was so narrow. We were the only ones there. And I don't know what went through his mind, but he must have was sure that he was taking that submarine through deep waters. Eventually, he tired and said, "Let's go to the museum." So I said, "Okay," up to the museum. And he bought the Gilbert Boy chemistry set. He wanted to take it apart, but I said, "No, let's go back to the hotel and you can take it apart then and look at it." So we got on the bus and back to the hotel. When we got to the room, he took off the wrapping from the box and began to check all the contents. I was tired. I hadn't done much, but when I got to Pittsburgh, I was already tired from the week's work. I lay down on the bed. I said, "Bry, you can open that up and play with it and pretend. Is it all right with you if I take a nap?" Well, he said, "No, you do that, Grandpa. I want to play with my set." So he took out tubes and bottles and some sand for some reason and began to play, and I fell asleep. Soon the telephone rang. I answered it, and it was Donna, his mother. She was waiting downstairs. I told her I was going to send him down. I said to Bryan, "Can you find your way downstairs?" He said, "Sure, Grandpa." So he left, and I went back to sleep. When I awoke, I was rested. I went into the bathroom to wash up. I looked in the toilet, and there in the bowl was poop. I thought for a moment. He's had a bowel movement, but he didn't want to awaken me, so he didn't flush the toilet. What a thoughtful child. What a wonderful grandchild.